Your hero indeed. This is Rhino, or more specifically a charging shrapnel Rhino, so it's a little bit crazy that a player who loves his tanky Warframes as much as I do hasn't really ran with an Ironclad charged Rhino before until now. Or even a charging shrapnel build where you make the most out of two of Rhino's augments in order to be able to recast his iron skin on demand. So after being asked a lot to please check out Ironclad Rhino, I decided screw it, let's do it, let's see what all the fuss is about with old Tripod Frame himself. And yeah, you guys are right, charging into groups of enemies to make you as tanky as all hell and then exploding that iron skin in order to recast it is a lot of fun and damn effective. Ideal for solo Rhino runs that anyone can check out if you want to. In the community I've heard of players getting up on 20,000, 50,000, even up into the hundreds and thousands of armor bonuses with an Ironclad Rhino depending on the number of enemies that they hit. So he definitely has loads of survivability, and when you add in that crowd control from your iron skin exploding and of course your charge knockdowns, Rhino is still in a pretty good place. Now there was a time when iron skin would absorb the full percentage buff that Ironclad charge would give you, so your iron skin would have insane values for its entire duration, but I'm not sure that that's the way it works anymore. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe it does, let me know in the comment section below. I know that that's the way it used to work, but now I've noticed that after my Ironclad buff runs out, my iron skin would deplete a lot faster than it would when the Ironclad buff was up. Which is a shame, but I can just of course charge face first into a group of enemies and get that buff back. Or maybe his iron skin does still fully benefit from that Ironclad charge buff and there was something just wrong with the way I was testing it. Now, the Ironclad charge augment for a Rhino works pretty simple. Group up enemies by whatever means possible, whether it's with the Telos Boltus or a teammate using Vortex or by lowering as many enemies into narrow hallways as you can possibly fit, whatever. Charge into as many of them as possible and you will get a huge buff to your armor for a set amount of time. Duration mods will of course increase how long this buff will stay active. So combining Rhino's Ironclad charge augment with his iron shrapnel augment allows you to charge enemies, gaining armor in the process, and then you can explode your iron skin, knocking down as many enemies as possible, maybe even killing a few, and then you can recast your iron skin with the new Ironclad armor buff and not have to wait for your iron skin to deplete in order to recast it. Whew. Now, finding my own personal setup for my Rhino with this type of setup was a little bit tricky for me. Did I want more range to hit more enemies with those charges, or more duration for a longer Ironclad armor buff, or did I want to settle for a higher power strength in order to get the most out of my iron skin and of course the armor buff multiplier as well? Efficiency is also something that you might need if you don't have, like me, Zenuric or Arcane Energize, so the build needs a bit of a tweaking to get it to your own personal liking. I might still bump down my duration in favour of a little bit more range to hit more enemies, but I'll have to just test it out a little bit more. For now in my build I kept my duration and range at that 100% default and went into armor and power strength. Duration can be switched out for more efficiency or range, but for me, like I said, I run Zenuric and Arcane Energize on nearly every bloody frame, so I can run with a slightly negative efficiency and not really have to worry about those issues, but you might not be able to. Now, one thing definitely worth noting with regards to Rhino's Ironclad charge armor buff, if you spam your charge ability then each buff will overwrite the previous. So a 700% armor buff will be overwritten by a 200% armor buff and so on. They don't stack, so don't spam the ability too much, because if you do then your armor values are going to fluctuate up and down and so is your tankiness. Now, mod setups like this are definitely effective, and not just that, they're also a lot of fun. So if, like me, and maybe right now you're suffering from a little bit of burnout in Warframe and you don't know exactly what to do to have a bit of fun, then try builds like this on whatever Warframe you want. Try a few of the augments and what kind of combinations might work or might be really enjoyable to run with. And by all means, feel free to let me know how you get on. Let me know what you guys think also of Rhino's charging shrapnel setup. What's the highest amount of armor that you've managed to get on your Rhino by charging into a clusterfuck of enemies? Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more Warframe, and as always, thanks very much for watching.